Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on the Mic with Mike, the premier business radio program around. We're coming to you from the Business Solutions Summit here with the Chesterfield Chamber of Commerce. We have Beth, who's with Brian and Stratton. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
All righty, give us the idea, the 30-second elevator pitch, and then we're going to talk about some of the great things that you guys are doing.
So Brian and Stratton College is a regionally accredited career college. We're located on Hall Street, and we offer associate and bachelor's degrees and programs of study that are in high demand.
So you guys are the ones I see all around talking about you can go from your couch to being really successful in a short amount of time.
Well, yes,
it's a short amount of time.
Yes, associate degrees, and it's incredible, especially right now with the employees shortage, how meaningful that associate degree is.
So what's the process? What's the process to go from sitting at my house to getting into Brian and Stratton?
Well, I encourage you to call the college and set up an interview to come, and we will give you a tour of the campus. We'll also sit down with an admissions representative and talk about what you're interested in and what the right program of study would be. And then we would also have you talk to a financial aid representative to see how you can afford college.
Let me ask you, so Mike King Beth is here with us. Cash, the bookkeeper is right there. Take care. Alrighty, so what are some of the areas of study that you guys have right now?
Well, healthcare is a big one. So we have a nursing program, we have medical assisting, but we also have business and IT, all high demand programs of study.
And the time frame for those generally is how long?
So you can do it in as little as 3 semesters, and some of our programs take up to 5.
So Brian and Stratton, you guys have been around for a good while.
Close to 170 years.
That is a good while. And you're part of the chamber. What is it about you guys that being part of the chamber? Because you guys give back a lot to the community as well.
Well, we are a part of the community, and most of our graduates actually live and reside and work in Chesterfield or the surrounding communities. So it's important to us that we have good relationships for our students as well as our fellow business partners.
On the Mic with Mike, this part of ESPN Richmond Radio Network. We're here coming to you from the Solutions Summit here at the Chesterfield Chamber. So what has it looked like? What's a different atmosphere now as opposed to pre-COVID days? I mean, the whole world has changed. How has it impacted the educational system?
Well, obviously, we're dealing with the shortage in healthcare, so that demand for that education has gone way up. And then secondly, our employers need qualified employees. So we're seeing that our employers want us to get graduates to them faster, but also still prepared.
And that's something because you guys help when I graduate and I walk across, and I'm very happy I got my piece of paper. You guys help me with the next step as well, because you're the relationship with employers.
Exactly. So as a career college, we never let you forget you want a career. So from day one, with your orientation, career services is deliberately intrusive with you. And you'll find them in the classrooms. We're talking about resume writing, interview skills. You do an internship at the end of your program. And that's why our graduates are so career ready.
On the Mic with Mike, once again, how can people find Brian and Stratton out there?
I would suggest you give us a call at 804-745-2444 or visit our website.
One of the great parts about having your own radio program is I can always ask, do I have to wait until classes start? Like, you guys start at a certain defined period, or does, say, healthcare start different than HVAC?
Great question. So because we are working with working adults, we do 3 semester starts in January, May, and September.
Okay.
And so we're constantly enrolling people, and there you don't have to wait. In fact, I encourage you not to wait.
And you guys also have flexibility on the timing for classes too.
We have day, evening, online, weekend. So we understand that our students are working and managing a family. So we're very flexible in our offerings.
And it's easy to get to you guys too.
Super easy. We're right down the road.
It's super easy. And so that really plays a part for your students as well, because it's sometimes getting to a school or something can be a challenge transportation wise.
Exactly. Plus, not all of our students want to be in large classes. So it's nice that you can be in smaller classes. And again, very accessible.
Alrighty, on the Mic with Mike, we'd like to thank you for stopping by. We bring you the best and brightest because they're part of the chamber. They're also doing a lot of great things in the community. Like you said, a lot of times now that the idea that the world has shrunk, we need more employers are looking for people. There's never been a better time. Never been a better time. All right, on the Mic with Mike, we got to run. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it. Thanks. Now take care. We'll be back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on the mic. Mike, we're here at the Chesterfield Chamber of Commerce. This is the Solution Summit. We're coming to you. They bring out the best and the brightest. You can always thank Danielle Fitzhugh for doing that. Charles is with us. He is one of the keynote speakers. Welcome to the program, sir.
Good to be here, sir. Thanks for having me, Mike.
All right. I always start out with folks. Let me get the 30-second elevator pitch who you are, and then we're going to dive into some of the good stuff.
Charles Weathers out of Columbia, South Carolina, run a management consulting firm, the Weathers Group. We help teams learn, connect, and perform.
All righty. What is missing these days when folks show up at the Weathers Group? What's the one thing kind of like constantly you see that is missing?
Unity.
You said it like that. You were like, "Ooh, Lord."
Oof. I mean, we can go all day, Mike. Unity.
Really?
Unity of purpose, having that shared purpose, shared understanding, shared determined objectives that they want to reach. People right now are trying to find a space where we can all come together for the greater good, Mike. And unity is getting lost in there. Sometimes selfishness overtakes us, and teams can't perform if we all are looking out for our own self-interest and not the one unified interest that brings us all together.
So let me ask you, what has COVID and remote working done? In the past, most of the people were together and then they had a remote worker here or there.
Right.
Now everyone's spread out here and there. How do you promote unity and culture in that environment?
Great question, Mike. I got to tell you, actually, people are getting unified through COVID being remote workers, because what's happening is our values and our talents can no longer be hidden. If you're not doing your job, COVID has exposed you. So you can't hide at the water cooler.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. So what's happening now is that people are recognizing I got to step my game up. So to a degree, the remote working is helping us really harness our talents, understanding our strengths, and make sure people in the right seats.
Now that we're talking culture here.
Right.
Culture is derived from the top. Can culture ever be driven from the bottom up?
Absolutely, it can. Absolutely. When you think about culture, think about this: attitudes, behaviors, norms that drive an organization's expectations, those values that kind of set everything. So we talk about leadership setting the tone. I've said that for years, but also we are in a space right now where the folks on the front line can help shape that culture as well. By design or by default, an organization's culture will get set.
One way or other.
One way or another, top down, bottom. I believe in both ends. I think it's the top down and it's bottom up. Everybody plays a role in driving that culture and shaping it.
So for the Weathers Group right there, what is the ideal client for you guys? And what's the process? Like, how do you guys work the magic?
Great question. So here's the ideal client for us. Number one, the people who are willing and aware to recognize they don't know everything and are teachable and want to receive some help. If somebody comes to the table knowing everything, I can't help them. It's impossible to help them. The process starts with an assessment. We spend some time talking and diagnosing, almost like your physician when you go to the doctor.
Okay.
You know, Mike, if people say, we'll come help anybody, I don't know if we can help you. I don't know if we make a good fit. Every consultant is not for everybody. We have to take some time to develop our relationship, assess your pain points, and see if we have something that can help remedy it.
Out here, I always ask people out there, and you're coming from a little bit further distance. We're here in Chesterfield. Yeah. This is a Business Solution Summit. On the mic with Mike, the best business radio program around. This is part of the Mike King Biz Radio Network, ESPN 5 to 7 a.m. The choice every day 2 to 3, as well as International Business Growth Radio. Sir, what is the mood out in the streets? How are people doing now compared to 12 months ago?
People are tired. People are tired, but they're determined. They're tired and determined. They are pushing through, Mike. They're seeing it through. But we have to recognize, Mike, that workplace safety right now, I'm talking psychological safety, is critical.
Wow.
If you're a leader, you better look out for your people.
I never heard nobody talking about psychological safety. Because people are always talking about the physical safety.
That's right.
You're talking about the mindset of people. People are fragile these days.
People's mindset, we're tired, we're worn down, and folks are being taken advantage of. You got folks coming into your business who are wounded right now, who are hurting right now. And oftentimes they don't have a place to go and say, can I be human for a second? Can I take this cape off and I don't know the answers to everything. And folks are feeling that pressure. And we as leaders have got to recognize that people aren't just widgets on a shelf somewhere. They're humans. They have interests beyond the company, and we got to help them survive this world that we're in right now.
How hard is that for an old school business owner? Now all of a sudden, we got to worry about the touchy feely for my employees. It wasn't like that. And when we talk about back in the day, I'm old. I could talk back in the day,
right,
in the 90s, early 80s. Back in the day, these days, 2015, 2016. Now you want the business owner to be cognizant of the feelings of his worker. And you're telling him, you better.
I'm gonna tell you why. Take care of your people, because your people take care of your clients and your clients take care of your business. You will not have a great experience for the people who buy your products, services, or programs if it's not a great experience for the people delivering it.
All righty, how can people find the Weathers Group out there?
Weathersgroup.com or 803-400-1991.
What's looking to the crystal ball? How are we looking for 2022? What do you see out there from the business landscape?
I see more collaboration. I see a more collaborative business environment. I see nonprofits, for-profits, and government entities working better together for the greater good. I see the intergenerational warfare in the workplace, millennials versus boomers versus Xers versus Ys. I see that being set aside and people saying, we got to come together and bring the best of all the generations to get this mission done.
I think that COVID really has allowed a lot of that, because before it was a natural bias. We not listen to the young guy over there. That's not how we used to do things.
You better listen.
Well, because we didn't used to do
That's
things
right.
by Zoom either.
That's right.
Because I asked the CEO of Elephant Insurance, tell me something that you were sure wouldn't happen, and COVID changed your mind. He said, I never would have thought remote working would work. He said, not in 1,000 years. A month into it, you know what he's saying? I see. If we can't go back, we can't put that genie back in the bottle.
Mike, I see people now converting to some type of hybrid model going forward. And some are not even going back in general. They're saying we're going to work from home. So COVID has changed the game.
That also has allowed you to get, before, the best and the brightest, really from a hiring perspective, were the best and the brightest who are local to you. It's opened the world up now.
Now expanded the world to the point where whether I'm in Colombia or Turkey or wherever, Canada, wherever, I can do the work for you.
And we understand. I'm on a Zoom not too long ago with a guy who has the flag football world, the flag football league.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the call, there's a crash bang behind him.
Okay.
He leans back and he says, is everything okay?
Mm-hmm.
You hear a voice and everything's fine.
Uh-huh.
I said to him, do you need a minute? He's like, no. We went right back to the interview.
Mm-hmm.
If that had happened 2 years ago, it would have been catastrophic.
Right.
Because now it's just like the world stopped because we had a technical difficulty.
Mm-mm.
Now, Bill froze up. You know what happened? Hey, Bill will be back in a moment. And I don't care how important the conversation was. We understand.
We understand.
The world has changed.
What we can do with the camera and the microphone and the headset is incredible.
You see me here.
And you're doing it.
Exactly.
And you're doing it.
On the mic with Mike, we're here. We got to run one last time. How can people find you out there?
Weathersgroup.com, 803-400-1991, and all social media platforms.
There you go.
Weathers Group.
The Weathers Group. All right. We'd like to appreciate you coming on. Thanks now. On the mic with Mike, ESPN Richmond. That's part of the Mike King Biz Radio Network. We're coming to you from the Chesterfield Solution Summit. We have one of the sponsors of the Solution Summit. Dan is here. He is with Dupont. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me.
All righty. Well, we'll always start off with, let's get the elevator pitch. Everyone knows the name Dupont, but you guys do so much more than that. Let's talk about who you are and what you guys do.
Yeah, especially in the Chesterfield County. So our manufacturing facility in Chesterfield has been here since 1929.
Really?
Yeah, that's correct. And we've produced over that time everything from rayon and cellophane to Teflon, Mylar, nylon, some of the big brands of the past. Our big hitters nowadays are Kevlar, Tyvek, and Nomex. And we've got a couple thousand employees out there. It's right off between 95 and Route 1 next to Fillmore, Saltria, if you know about 895. And yeah, it's, we're a local, larger business. So we love partnering with the chamber and the other large business partners, the small businesses, and the education and government agencies on where we have common interests.
So Dupont is here. You guys are always known as being real champions of the community. Explain why that's so important for, we're talking, there are brands, and then there are big brands, and then there's Dupont, which is something the world knows and doesn't know exactly what you guys do, but you find it understandable and important to be part of the community here.
Yeah, well, our brands, especially in our business here for Chesterfield, are all about protection. So whether it be for first responders or for the military, or in a medical field, we're supplying products that are saving lives from bullets, from fire, from when you're on an operating table, making sure that you have sterile equipment. So, our products, our mission, our vision is integrally tied to, people in the real world and real needs.
So Dan, he is here with us. He is with Dupont, one of the sponsors of the Solution Summit. So you guys were all ready for 2019. I'm sure Dupont has that big table. You guys are sitting around doing the planning, how you guys are going to be a real mega hit for 2020. Corona showed up. What did that do for you as an organization that's changed you guys going forward?
Yeah, demand did not slack off. I mean, when you look at the personal protective equipment that was necessary.
I guess demand didn't slow down for you guys.
Yeah, no, it did not. We had to deliver. Especially in the medical world when it came to protective apparel and the what we produce for the medical device manufacturers. We didn't have the ability to really pull back at all. So it became extremely challenging for us to be able to continue operations and deliver those critical to infrastructure products that were needed globally, while not putting our own people at risk and being able to, have all the labor still provided to the manufacturing processes to deliver those products. So huge challenge for us. It's great to be coming out on the tail end of it, and also that we were able to pull through without any major interruptions to our supply.
All righty, sir. One of the great parts, this is on the mic. This is a business program. This is a crackerjack business program. We ask the hard-hitting questions. Are the supply chain issues getting any better for you guys, or just in general?
Yeah, so I can't speak as much on the global supply chain. It's not my area within the business. However, I do have responsibility for our partners and our contracts, and which does have some overlap with logistics that directly support us. And we do see challenges with supply chain on our raw materials and any of the supplies and things that we need to be able to do our operations. I don't have the crystal ball about, how quickly that's going to, improve going forward. It is a challenge for us.
So the scuttlebutt on the street is still correct. There are issues getting things from where they need to be to.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're having to go, third, fourth deep on qualified vendors and finding new vendors when we aren't able to get the materials and supplies that we need.
All right, on the mic with Mike Dan with Dupont. All right, speaking of vendors, how can a person get to be on the vendor list for Dupont?
Yeah, connecting with my team at the site or globally with procurement. We have contractor strategies that say for any of the services or needs that we have, who we have as qualified vendors to use. And we usually keep a number of them because not everybody is always available to service our needs. So really it's about getting in touch with us and, having those business development conversations, getting people a foot in the door. And then it's all about being able to perform safely with high quality and of course the cost to what we can afford.
All right, and we're on the mic with Mike. One last time, how can people find information out about Dupont?
Yeah, so check out our webpage,
Okay.
Globally. It's got contact information there also to our site. You're free to hunt my name down. I'm on LinkedIn and other avenues out there. Dan Matson.
All right. I'd like to thank you for coming in, also for being a sponsor of the program. Chesterfield Chamber is out here doing some really amazing thing, and they do that by having outstanding sponsors. So Dan with Dupont, we'd like to thank you. On the mic with Mike, the best business radio program around. That's where we're coming to you from, ESPN 5 to 7 a.m. as well as the Choice 105.3. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Mike.
Thanks. Now take care.
Yep.
On the mic, Mike, we'll continue to roll through with the rock stars coming through. We'll be back in just a moment.
What's your name? What do you want?
On the mic with Mike, ESPN Richmond 106.1 is part of Mike King Biz Radio Net. We got the man back with us, Patrick McFadden. We are here coming to you from the Solution Summit here for the Chesterfield Chamber of Commerce. He was one of the speakers of the event. I heard you up there talking about setting yourself above everyone else, all of the noise. All righty, so people know he is a friend of the family. He knows the routine. He even had the nerve to ask me, what are we going to be talking about? Clearly, we don't have an agenda to talk about. You're out there talking what's happening out in the streets these days.
No, You're right. We just finished the Business Solutions Summit. It was awesome. Now you made a great reference.
Yes.
So one of the things that we talked about was there's a saying that you need to stand out in the crowd, but there's a problem with standing out in the crowd. You're still part of the crowd.
Okay.
So it's my belief you need to avoid the crowd. And that's to be so completely different that there is no such thing as comparing you. I call it the obvious choice. And to do that, you first have to position your business in a different way. So somebody has to think about what you do totally different. So do you do accounting or do you help me get my funding? Now, it could be you do accounting, but at the end of it, you help them get their funding. That is the thing you need to start talking about.
Because on the mic with my here, Patrick McFadden, a lot of times business owners do not know the difference, what they do. They're an accountant, but you're saying, hey, but your clients see you as helping them get their books in order.
Absolutely.
You're doing more than just the accounting work.
Absolutely. You're helping them gain that access to funding, which is the lifeblood of any business, right? Cash is oxygen in a business.
And so you're helping the business owner realize the things that they do not.
Absolutely.
So don't stand out in the crowd because you're still part of the crowd.
Avoid the crowd.
Avoid the crowd. See, ladies and gentlemen, that's what he's talking about. Indispensable. That is indispensable marketing right there. Avoid the crowd.
Now, I want to put you on the spot.
Okay, here we go.
But I gotta ask. One thing you took away. I know you gave me the avoid, but was there another thing you took away?
The other thing was when you talked about getting the message out, and when you wrapped it up, you asked for people, what'd you get from this? With the talk right there to figure out what people retain. Because you go in there, you're talking and you're telling your message, whether it's in a sales call,
Yep.
You guys are asking your clients, what is it they're trying to get to? And at the end, they didn't retain anything that you said. So you put people on the spot to say, who remembered what and who has questions?
Now, in my presentation, I talked about measuring results.
Because if it's not
measured, you can't get repeat business. So I want to have repeat speaking engagements. Organizers want to bring somebody in that brings value to the audience. How do I provide a way to measure that the audience gained value from what I had to contribute to this event? I asked them to raise their hand to say if you have a question or if you learned something. That's immediate acknowledgement of the results of that presentation given to that organizer when they see all those hands go up. So now, guess who's going to get the next speaking opportunity when it comes up? Patrick, because
so hold on a second. So when I'm done speaking, I ask who got something out of this.
Mm-hmm.
There are 50 people in there, 35 people raise their hands and say they got something. That's a measure of my performance right then.
Yep, to the event organizer to say, wow, I made the right decision. I'm the hero. I brought this person in and the audience got value. If he asked me again, I'm happy to say yes, because there was a measurement to the outcome and you made it visible. You made the results visible. Because if they don't ask for a survey, there's no other way for you to know who gained value. But the best evidence is to make it visible.
And you put people on the spot.
Yeah. Because
typically they will say a person, as you're leaving, please fill out the survey. How many people walk by that survey paper? And if you're lucky, if you get 50% back.
Yeah, that's true.
And people are gonna, okay, fine, whatever. But it's immediate right there and measurable. Yep. So in the end, when it's recorded and you walk away saying 75% or 80% of the people who were there got something out of this. This isn't Patrick talking. This is Bill and Mary and Sue raised their hand that affirmed I got something from this.
And I did it in a way where at the cost of the person was very low. It wasn't an expense to them to raise their hand.
No.
But if you ask somebody to fill out a survey, you are costing them time a little bit.
That is true.
So the secret is, how do you get the results without making it a major expense to that person you need the results, the findings for?
On the mic with Mike, ladies and gentlemen. That's why he is a speaker at a number of these events. That's why indispensable marketing is an indispensable part of the marketing business, because he's breaking it down. As we've said in the past, business owners know their business and everyone thinks mine is totally unique. There is not another business like it out there. And you're saying a lot of times business owners do not know their business.
No, they don't know the real problem they solve. So in there, I had the matrix, right? The red pill or the blue pill. And as marketers, we focus on the red pill. And that's how do you discover the real problem that you're solving, which is outside of the basic service you provide. So in there, I ask people to raise their hands to say, hey, who in here provides remodeling, consulting, installation, maintenance, coaching? And all the hands went up. And I said, but is that the problem you're solving?
And no.
Maybe with your landscaping or your plumbing, what you're really solving is the ability to get there quick and explain what happened.
Okay, now you know what? Now that you're talking, Mike King, Patrick McFadden is here. This is the one that really was an eye opener to me. The number one thing that you said separates you from the other person is you answered the phone.
Yes.
You answer. You know how low on the bar that is, but it makes a difference.
It does.
You answered the phone when the other ones didn't.
Yeah. So especially in an environment where, let's just face it, employee capital, employee resources is a struggle for a lot of businesses. And so what my research and having a client base has shown is that customers are willing to call as a way to sample your business. And if you don't know that they're sampling and trying you out, dating you with a phone call to just see if you answer the phone, then you've already lost, because you don't know how your customers make decisions and how they want to try you out. And so during these times like this, if you know that the phone call is the way they're going to try you out, you have to dedicate resources to. So even if you have to hire a call answering service, you got to do what you got to do to make sure you get a chance at the bigger business.
Because in the line of how things work, answering the phone, making a phone call is big.
Yes.
It's that's big. It's not like it was years ago. Well, now I can send an email. I can go on the web. I have to physically pick up and talk to someone. And now the answer is, you're saying you need to be on the other end of that call, because that's going to separate you from the other people.
Or at least having it answered in some way, shape, or like you got to have the phone calls answered. One, you miss out on opportunities. So you can't get an at bat at something unless you're willing to step up to the plate.
That is true. On the mic with Mike. We're here. Ladies from the Notary. How you doing? Are you guys leaving? Okay, on the mic. Make sure you guys stop back. On the mic with Mike. We're here. We're coming to you from the Chesterfield Chamber. This is not like, the typical business show. We see people coming. We're going to shout people out.
People leaving.
People are leaving. That's what this is. This is organized chaos here. We got Patrick McFadden at Indispensable Marketing out there, really breaking marketing down so people can understand exactly what's happening out there. Answering the phone is a big one. Separating yourself from the others is it. All right. If I'm part of the pack and I want to separate myself from the pack, I'm still part of the pack. What are the steps to do that?
First, discover the thing that you do that your best clients value and want. So it's one thing to say that we offer free estimates or, we arrive on time. But what if your best customers don't value that? You have to go on the search, the discovery of, what is it that our ideal customers really value and want from us? What is it that we do that they receive that maybe they haven't gotten from another company similar to us? So you got to go on the search for that. Then you have to take that insight and turn it into a message. So that's what most people fall short, is that even if they collect that insight,
they don't know what to do with it.
Correct. And then you have to not only do you have to claim it, then you have to communicate it. That's the two parts. So it's two part. One, you got to go on discovery, claim it, and then communicate it. So then you have to push it out. And then to be honest with you, you got to go all in on it. So If my company, if I owned a home service business,
Like we do. We know somebody who has a home service. We ain't gonna give them a shout out. We know the best pest control guy around. We do.
Yep. So you be using Aaron's company.
Shout out to Aaron Owens out there, US Pest Control, just so we're clear.
Yep. So an example, explaining what we do is a key thing that his ideal customers value. Now you bake it into all your processes. How do we explain what we do when we answer the phone? How do we explain what we do when it's time for the invoice? How do we explain what we do before we do treatments? How do we explain what we do when we first answer the phone? How do we explain what we do when we're about to leave? So every element of the business needs to incorporate and deliver on that promise.
Mike King, Patrick McFadden here as a marketing expert guru. When you look at somebody who's successful and they're successful in spite of those things, what's your thought process?
That they have a good service. So a lot of times your marketing from a external communication could be bad, but if your actual service experience is good, which is what happens with most of these businesses grow despite having
In spite of themselves.
unorganized marketing, chaotic decisions, but because you're delivering a good service at the end of the day, which is marketing, because you have to dedicate resources to deliver a great experience, whether that's buying the right equipment, hiring the right type of people, having the right type of training. All those things are marketing. You may say, I've never spent a dime in marketing, but you have. Have you built an apprentice center? Yep, that's marketing. Because so a lot of these folks don't say that they've never spent on marketing, but they have. They've invested in having a great experience, which is the best marketing.
And as you say, if people are talking about your business, there's nothing better than that.
Yeah, yes. The happy customer is the best lead.
One of Mike Patrick McFadden, I'd like to thank for coming through. How can people find you out there?
Indispensablemarketing.com, and to Google, Patrick McFadden on LinkedIn, and Instagram at PMcFadden7.
All right, on the mic with Mike, best business radio program around. As he always says, I'm running with the big dog.
I'm running with the big
Running
dogs.
with the big dog. We're out here making a difference in the business community. We're doing business in a different way. Mike and Patrick, we'll talk to you soon. We'll be back. We're at the Chesterfield Chamber Business Solutions Summit, where Patrick was one of the keynote speakers. That's when you know you're a big deal. When they put that on the keynote speaker, not just a regular speaker. No.
I tell people I have notoriety, not fame.
That's
I look up here.
it's no, you're talking.
Oh, that's you.
ESPN Rich and Mike King here. ESPN, that's where you find us. This is part of the Mike King Biz Radio Network. I got a celebrity in the house. We're coming to you from the Chesterfield Solutions Summit. This is the Business Solutions Summit put on by the Chesterfield Chamber of Commerce. We're here with Kelly Davis. Welcome to the program, ma'am.
Thank you for having me, Mike.
All righty, so you guys, you and Kaisha, you guys have a group of you who put this thing on. Let's talk about who you are. Let's get the Davis elevator pitch. Shout out to Mr. Davis as well.
Yes.
The elevator pitch for your company, and then we're going to talk about this, what we're doing here now.
Well, I am Kelly Suazo Davis, and CEO and owner of Anchor In. Anchor In is a leadership and development firm. We work with corporate, government, one-on-one executives, and just help them simplify leadership, build agility, pivot within their roles. And we've been doing this for over 15 years. So yeah, this is where my heart is.
This is where your heart is.
Yes.
So you guys are out there really making a difference, out there really, really, really working with business and organization. When people roll up on you right now, what do you see that is kind of like constant among different organizations? What's one thing that is really in need of help now?
Right now is, Kelly, how do I convince my people to stay? So
Hold up.
That is the question.
So now it's not, and I always wondered this.
Yes.
See, Mike King here, I'm a deep thinker, not really. So everyone's talking about there are no workers, so we can't hire workers. We're always out there trying to hire workers. The question is, how do you not kill the workers who are staying? You
That's
work them to death. How do you incent them to stay? Because maybe they're looking for a better deal, or maybe they're just getting tired.
Correct.
What happens?
Correct. So I work with executives, and my solution to that, and as I take them through that process, Mike, is how are those people showing their commitment to you? How can you replicate that as a leader? How can you align the daily roles of that employee in a way that it will not exhaust them and will not burn them out, in the realistic view of having a few people to perform roles that take probably 10 to 20. So to be able to do that right now is the big question is, the other day I saw an ad, Burger King. Burger King is providing $1,000 sign-on bonus, $18 an hour. But why is that? And it has to be corrected from a leadership standpoint, from the top down. Are you appreciating your employees? Are you showing them that their insight is valuable? Are you taking them through the process of identifying their roles and where they may need support? Even though you are, it's dwindling down, but where do those people that stayed need the support so you could keep them in the organization?
It tells you something about the data when that Burger King, a
Yes.
G to come on
Yes.
and work here and $18 an hour.
$18.
And that still is not enough.
That still is not enough.
When business leaders look at change, can we do incremental change, or when we really need to change, some got to change on a dime and we really got to shift the culture?
Well, Mike, I come from a military background,
sir.
so working there, as civil service, but there are changes that need to take place in bite size. That's it. It has to be a bite size, because if you attempt to pile on change, it may not be digestible for that team, and the change will not happen. It will stay, your team will stay stagnant because they won't know where to move. So identify the crucial change, build up step by step of what that change will look like in bite size. I mean, like tiny ones, enough that can produce to you produce the process and produce the result that you're looking for.
Because I heard you and Patrick say you got to measure results.
Yes, I always say you can't manage what you can't measure.
I like that. I like that. I'm gonna straight up steal that
Yes,
one.
go ahead.
Because you
quote
can't
me.
measure. You can't
No.
measure it.
You cannot. There is no way you can measure that. And even as a leader, if you attempt to initiate compound changes in 5 to 10 steps, there's so much that you can keep track of. So if you as an employee, as you give me a bite-sized change that you will like me to start working towards in my department, which then will affect change in other departments, I can do that. And you can track that.
So you can track goodwill and what that means to an organization from an organizational profitability standpoint. You can, happy workers, happy employees perform better.
Yes, they do. But then there's the other corner of that.
Okay, what
And
is it?
when I speak to the employees, as employees, they have a responsibility as well to cultivate that culture of a happy place at that job. So when you show up to your job, we heard earlier today in the presentation, I had the honor to serve as the chair of this, of the Business Solutions Summit. We heard earlier the aspect of just embracing the mission and vision of your organization. That has to be your business. If you go to work, that mission is your business, because at the end of the day, that's where you're spending your skill and your talents and your gifts at. So it cuts the check, but you need to embrace your employee's vision and mission.
That is what makes you guys so special. You and Mr. Davis out there really changing the world, talking about leadership and putting a spin on it so that people could understand it. Let's swing over and talk about your mission with the chamber. You really have embraced being a chamber member, being one of the thought leaders here and putting this summit together. What was this summit that we were here today covering?
Mike, this summit the intent was to bring together speakers that will share solutions for businesses that are facing challenging times. We are at our third year, coming out of COVID. We want to stay positive about that. But this conference was intended to provide, bite-sized solutions, 45-minute breakout sessions for marketing, how to build a workplace culture. So we were able to bring in these speakers that provided solutions to the attendees. So now they're out going back into their organizations to serve and to implement what they learned here today. And this is the inaugural Business Solutions Summit. This is our first one. It's not going to be the last. The team was a dynamic team.
You guys should have a crew. All right,
Yeah.
so let's give a shout out
So-
to the crew who made this
Yes.
possible.
So I served as the chair. My co-chair was Patrick McFadden. Then we had Shannon on there. Kaisha's on there. Whitney Williams is on there. So, power.
And you guys got a
people.
powerhouse crew.
Yes, we have a powerhouse crew. And not even mention the leadership, the leadership at the chamber, which is that support is unmatched.
So when people are out there, and when I have, whether it is Ian on or shout out to Danielle, I
Yes.
always ask them, what does it take for the chamber to be successful? And they talk about volunteers or people who make it happen.
Yes.
And they bring you guys up. What is it in your organization that really makes it important for you to work what you do with the chamber?
So earlier you stated, the fact of coming in and connecting with the chamber. I move every 2 years. My husband's active duty Army. I've
Lived
worked
1,000 places.
1,000 places. And the key to the entrepreneurs listening to me, the key to your success is connecting with your chambers, connecting in the community and serving the community. So you serve the community, you will reap what you sow. So you will see a return. And for me, it's seamless. I connect, I find the chambers, find different organizations, provide a service, provide my heart, my servant leadership, and then in turn come together and serve the community. So this, for me, it's pretty much easy, and it's who I am. It's part of what I do.
One of Mike with Mike, we bring you the best and the brightest side. Mrs. Davis here, shout out to your
Thank
husband
you.
who's out there doing big things. So I've been married for a lifetime. You guys have been married for a lifetime too.
Yes.
But you guys are empty nesters.
Empty nesters.
Empty nesters. All right, really
Yes.
quickly, give our listeners an idea what that's like. Vanessa Terry, I know you're not leaving. Okay, all righty, thank you.
So yeah, so that's being 42 years old. I can say that out loud. I'm cool with it. 42 years old, empty nest. We've been together a lifetime, literally, and just enjoying and being able to explore new things together and intentionally. You got to be intentional about it. So yeah, so we're having a wonderful time.
Shout out to Uncle Sam's Army. He was a matchmaker for me. He took care
That's
of me.
right.
Shout out to him. He is a pretty cool travel agent too. On the mic with Mike. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for
Thanks
having
now.
me, Mike.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. On the mic with Mike. We have Jessica who's here with us. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir.
Alrighty, so we had met before when we had the conversation about putting the Business Solutions Summit together. Let's talk about your role in it. We'll start with the elevator pitch for your company right off the bat. Let's get that out the way.
Okay, I am Jessica Van Leeuwen, the owner of JVL Consulting. And let me get this mask off. I do building trusted leadership and building a trusted culture.
We had the conversation about
We
trust.
did.
And there is a direct value on trust in an organization.
There is.
All right, so just drop some nuggets of knowledge on our people about what that means. What happens when you have real trust in an organization?
If you have trust in an organization and your teams trust each other, the production levels go up, the morale goes up, gossip goes down, your
So
sales.
that's good. Good. Morale
Yeah.
goes up and gossip goes down.
Exactly.
Because gossip can be a negative impact on an organization.
Yeah, very much so. And people deal in truths more than they do fiction when you have a trusted relationship.
All righty, so come on. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, Mike is here, Jessica's here. We have Kim Ely. We're trying to run a regular, a business radio program. Kim Ely, good friend of the program. She's taking pictures. We're here broadcasting. So we're talking about trust in an organization.
We are.
And you're saying there is a measurable impact that having that in your organization offers.
There is measurable. It is a hard skill. It is not a soft skill, and you can build trust. And there's, I deal with 8 pillars on trust and character, competency, making sure your leadership is competent, building connections with your teams. All of those raise trust. And when you have a high trust organization, high trust statistics show that high trust organizations perform 186% better than those with low trust.
Can we change the trust level of an organization incrementally, or when you have to pivot to make a hard pivot, it's like it's a new sheriff in town? Or can you do it slowly so that we don't have a mass exodus or an upheaval in the organization?
I think it's better to build it slowly. I think it's better to build it incrementally, and it starts with the individual. Organizations don't build trust, individuals do.
At
So
the top,
that-
or can we do it from the bottom and people start a groundswell?
I see more success if you start at the team level, at the ground level.
Really?
And you have to have a leadership buy-in. You have to
Okay.
have top level buy-in. But starting to work with the groups and I'll work with groups on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, doing workshops with them, how to give them practical solutions on building trust.
When we're talking about building trust right here, how are we doing it when everyone's virtual remote and you're here, I'm there? Before we used to do it, we'd have team building exercises and everyone would get together.
Yeah.
Now we're coming back out of it. But how do we build trust and culture when so many folks are remote?
You still can reach out to them and share with them and communicate with clarity. It's not just a matter of saying hi to them, it's a matter of sharing information with them. And that can be done. I'm the first to say that probably in person is better, but it can be done successfully, and staying in touch with people and caring about people, that the compassion.
That is true. So you're part of the chamber, and we talked about the relationship with the chamber. What does being a part of the chamber mean? And now you've taken on this role too, of actually not just being a member of the chamber, but volunteering to help and put this solution summit together.
I spent just under 30 years with the federal government, and I was here, and that was my social structure, that was my business structure, that was my work structure. So when I decided to go out on my own, I needed to get some exposure into the local community. I wanted to become part of the local community. So it seemed natural to join the chamber, and they have met every expectation and exceeded it for me. The people are generous, they're interactive. I've met some great people here, and my membership is worth every penny I pay for it.
So let me ask you this, having spent a lot of years in Uncle Sam's Army,
Yes, sir.
there is a value in an organization on how to run things. For businesses out there, what can you say you took from the federal government, that for all of the knocks about the government and a big organization, what are some of the things that you could say that you took from the government and it helps your business be successful?
I think both pros and cons. I worked on the military side of the house. I was a civilian with the Department of Defense, and there is something to be said about command structure.
Yes, there is.
And you have to know who that leader is. Who is the ultimate decision maker, and how is that decision going to be made? And one of my mentors, if you will, was Colin Powell, and he said it best in some respects, that you have to have your followers trust you to follow you, if for no other reason than out of curiosity as to where you're going. That's where trust comes into. From a military perspective, you have to trust that leader because your life depends on it at times. So
I always say to people when they say there's no I in team, I said, no, there isn't. But if the I does not do my part, it makes the teams work harder.
I had a music teacher once that used to chide us and saying, our band is only as good as our weakest member. So let's get everybody strong. And that's the I part. We need to get every member of that team strong, because it does involve every single member of the team to be successful.
Alrighty, so businesses are out there who need your service. Let's talk about what you could come in and do for XYZ business.
Well, I've got a series of assessments available to me where we can apply it either on an individual basis or a group basis, organizational basis, to kind of get a sense of where the trust is in the organization right now. And then we have a bunch of tools at my disposal where we can talk to leaders and talk to team members and start building that trust. As I said earlier, one individual, one step, one action at a time.
There you go. On the mic with Mike, we bring you the best and the brightest. Why? Because we give you business unlike anything else. Anywhere else, we're bringing leaders to you who are offering information on trust and joy. And those things, sometimes those are the things that hold businesses together. when we think it's products and, you know, services, and in reality, it's the people. So one last time, how can people find you out there?
I can be found at jvlconsulting.com on my website. You can contact me directly at jessica@jvlconsults.com.
Okay.
And call me 571-830-9592.
That's right. If you want to have the correct culture in your organization, because it does mean something, make sure you give Jessica a call. Shout out to all the things you're doing and supporting the chamber. On the mic with Mike, we're still talking to all the great folks. We are here at the Solution Summit. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on the mic with Mike, the premier business radio program around. I'm your host, Mike King, and we're coming to you from the Business Solution Summit here with the Chesterfield Chamber. We got an luminary of stars who are here, which coming through, spending a little bit of time. So who do we have next with us? Who do we have?
I'm Susanna Poncalver with the Foundation for Family and Community Healing.
You also are a radio personality, correct, aren't you?
Well, I don't know about the
No,
personality.
you are a
part.
personality.
Yeah, I'm on WRWK 93.9 FM, Thursdays at 5.
We got to get that out of the way. Now, folks, make sure you take a listen to it. All right, let's get the elevator pitch of who you are and what you do.
Okay, so my name is Susanna Calvert. I'm the founder and executive director for the Foundation for Family and Community Healing. We're a 501c3 nonprofit. We offer relationship skill education so that we can all learn to be successful citizens of humanity and Earth, not just our schools and workplaces.
How are people doing out there in the community now as opposed to 6 months ago?
Oh, gosh. Well, it's constantly changing. I'm not sure I can put my finger on it, but I feel that the needs in our communities have only been increasing, especially since COVID. They were pretty dire before that even, Mike. And I feel our communities and especially Earth need for us to take a step back and consider how we are in the world and with each other, and to find a different way, find a healthier way, a more loving way, a way to be more resilient, and find deeper meaning and purpose.
On the mic with Mike, we are here coming to you from the Solution Summit. We have Susanna Calvert, who is here with us. Talk about, people have dreams. How did you take that dream and make it a reality to help folks out there as a nonprofit?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, I was in higher education for 27 years.
So you're an educator at heart.
I've been an educator my whole life, and I received a divine inspiration to quit my job after my husband passed away and move back to Richmond because I was in Athens, Georgia, at the University of Georgia. And
Okay, really quickly, so we lived in a college town before we came over. So we lived at State College, Pennsylvania. Explain to people, living in a college town is magical.
it is magical.
People who have never done it, they just don't get it. The young people believe that the world could still be a better place. I drank the Kool-Aid. Clearly you drank the Kool-Aid. And here you are out there to change the world.
Yes, and I feel like we all have the capacity to change the world, Mike, because we all have a unique purpose, and we have all of the strengths and skills that we need, at least in their preliminary form, undeveloped form, to do that. And I feel like we're all here to bring about a positive change for everybody and everything, and that's all within us. And for me, it was just discovering what that was in me and having the faith and following guidance, following spirit to become my biggest self and trust myself, believe in myself, and know that this is what the world needs right now, and to just be all in. So I just said, okay, I'm all in. And what else am I going to do with my life? And I can at least die trying. So that's what I've done.
On the mic with Mike, ESPN Richmond. So we are here coming to you from the Chesterfield Chamber Solution Summit. Mike King is here. I would like to thank you for coming in. What we're going to do is we're going to have you back on the program to talk about your organization. We're kind of on a time crunch now, but what you're doing is out there really good. So really quickly, once again, how can people find you?
You can find us at healingedu.org. We're also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So come join us. We'd love to learn and grow with you.
On the mic with Mike. We do a solution summit every month for nonprofits. We'd love to have you in. We talk about fundraising, media, as well as organizational tips. On the mic with Mike, best business radio program around. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks now. On What a Mike with Mike, the best business radio program around. We got a friend of the family, Vanessa Terry is back. She is a sponsor of the Business Solutions Summit right here. She is rocking her gear. I like that. I like the gear. All righty, really quickly for the 8 people who do not know who you are. Let's go ahead and because you got some new credentials and accolades and all we do is win. Oh, I don't have my music. All we do is win,
All we do
win,
is
win.
win. Come through with
That's
the
right.
music.
Okay, so yeah, I got walk up music too. So mine is
You
the
do?
champ is here. The champ is here. Okay, okay. And you clearly have an entrance unlike anyone else. You came in like that. Let folks know who you are and what you do, and then we're going to talk real quickly about. I don't know what we're going to talk about. But
That's cool. We're gonna make it shake.
Yes.
So my name is Vanessa Terry, and I own 3 companies: Notary to Notary, On Time Notary, I Notarize. We're everything notary. So we train notaries, we dispatch notaries, we create notary software. I Notarize is an e-notary platform, and we are all things notary.
You are all things notary. I remember the first time I heard, if people don't think brands work, that's our first thing. I'm like, who's this notary lady? And then we're at the Common House. Shout out to the Common House.
Shout out
That's
to
where
the Common House.
magic happens there. And I meet you there. And you're doing things that most people know a notary is just a person who signs off on it. They don't understand the business side of it because you're talking the business side of it and you're making people stop and go,
Yeah, teaching people how to actually build a sustainable business as an individual notary or having notaries work underneath you. So we're actually how to actually set up signing services. So actually scaling companies, growing them, doing notary work.
And so when we talked last year, a lot has changed in the notary business, where before a notary had to be on site, putting eyeballs on it. That's old school now.
Yeah, it's almost gone. It's still here, but it's dwindling away.
Okay, so for the folks out there who don't understand what that means, how does that happen as a notary?
So traditionally, you would meet somebody, you would show them your ID, and you would sign, and then we would notarize.
Yes.
Now what we're doing is e-notary. So it's where we hop on like a video session similar to FaceTime. We're not going to do it on FaceTime, but like a video session, and you click to sign, like how you use like DocuSign.
Okay.
And then I click to notarize, and everything's done really quickly, like within 5-10 minutes, you're done.
So I have to prove, you had said I have to prove who I am on my end. The other person has to prove who they are on their end. And all of a sudden those two go together and you are able to notarize the same way as if we're all in the same location.
Exactly.
Man, I should have thought that one up.
Yeah.
Thought that's a smooth move right there. All righty, okay. I'm just on the mic with Mike. Mike is here, Vanessa's here. She's out there doing some really big things. I'm minding my business. I see, and we had talked about your social media game.
Yes.
And it's fire. It's straight up fire. And then I see you standing there and you have gotten some accolades recently.
I did.
Yes. Okay, let's drop that on our listeners because I'm clearly the best business radio program around. But people don't show up to break news here. I got to look at it out there on the internet like everybody else because they didn't get the memo that this is the best business radio program around. I see you with a distinction that says you are what?
I am Forbes listed. So yes, last year I made the Forbes Next 1000 list. So it's a list of entrepreneurs to look out for. So we are changing the way that people work. We're changing the scope. We're giving people like new ways to think about work, new ways to generate income. And so Forbes said, Vanessa,
you
one qualify.
See,
get on in this list.
Get on this list right here. See, on the mic with Mike, you're on the video right here. The way as a journalist, you get people, you track them down, you run their folks down. So I see your people leaving. I'm shouting you out saying, yo, you're not leaving, are you? And this is in the middle of an interview. There's no decorum here. This is not 60 minutes or nothing.
No.
I see you leaving. I'm going to shout you out. Yo, come on 1 second. We got to talk. Forbes listed is who you are. What does that mean for your business?
Number 1. Yes, we are number 1 nationwide. We were taking over. And it's really just, we just love helping people. You know, like the Forbes, of course, gives that extra stage.
That credibility.
Yeah. So it gives us that extra, leap forward. But we're just excited. This is going to be a great year.
So when you put that out there, the Forbes list, What happened to your social media? What did people start doing all of a sudden?
DMing me.
Of course.
Like my DMs are full and I love it. I love all of you guys. It's just really hard for me to respond to every single one of you, but I'm working on it. But yeah, there's lots of DMs. A lot of people want like advice and can you help me? I'm super, happy for you. Congratulations. But yeah, it's a lot. So it kind of exploded.
Right. Now, I tell people I am the LeBron James of recruiting for business. I get the best and the brightest. What have I been on you about? You need to come on here and join this team.
I know.
And tell everybody how this is done.
You're
I got
right.
a list of rock stars.
I know.
Because
I'm gonna do it.
you know what it does? It puts you in a position where all of a sudden you're a radio person. People see me as a radio personality because we're talking about business. It's not so much the X's and O's. People want to know, how did she do this thing? I see you chilling at the common house. You got your little computer there. I'm old school, so it takes a lot to put stuff together. You got to have a team. I see you at the common house, laid back. I'm like, oh, you're the notary lady. Yeah, okay. Oh, you're Mike. Okay, so that's how that happens. Next thing I know, here, big things are happening. I asked you before, how do you make magic happen? You're sitting at home like, I'm going to do something. You're going to be a notary. I'm looking around like, okay, there's a bazillion notaries, but there ain't no notary to notary like you. How you make that happen?
That's drive. It's vision. It's vision. I think it really starts with self-development and then setting like extreme goals. Like I set really big goals for myself and then very conscious of who I hang around, very conscious of what I listen to. And then I just execute heavily, like massive execution all day. Shout out to Eric Thomas.
Hey, do you know Shelly Shelton? She is one of Eric Thomas's speakers.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
So Shelly Shelton comes on the program. She wrote a book, and we're working with them. We're shouting out Tyler Perry every couple of weeks because it's just like she's on the program. She's one of ET's speakers, and she goes around on his platform. I'll connect you with her, and in that way, because I asked her, how did she get to be one of his speakers? Because she has a dynamic story. She's out there pushing a series of books. Shout out to Shelly Shelton with Chandler is a series of books that she has out there. So, alrighty, how can people find Notary to Notary and all the things that you're doing?
On every social media platform, for the most part, at Notary, #2 Notary. So Notary to Notary, or go to notarytonotary.com and you can find us there.
Okay, what's it mean to be a sponsor of this event today that we're here at?
Oh, it was awesome. I think it was awesome because we had to meet so many people. They all came to the table. A lot of people they're really confused. Like, wait, about what notary is. And so
they all had that look like I had, like what? Like, what are they doing over there?
Yeah, a lot of them had no idea what E-Notary was. So it was an opportunity to educate, especially business owners. Like it can definitely, it's very cost effective. It helps you. You don't have to, leave. It's cheaper. Yeah, so it was definitely.
So real quick elevator pitch to business owners for E-Notary. What does that do?
So E-Notary allows you to still get your documentation notarized, but instead of having a notary come to you, you simply submit a request online and it's done within about 5 minutes. And it's at typically like half the cost of what it would cost you to get an actual body in your establishment. Plus it's 24 hours and we do it worldwide. So you do not have to be in America. You could be anywhere in the world.
And there's only one name to call to do that. And what's that name?
Notary to Notary.
There you go. I rock with the best on the mic with Mike, the best business radio program around. That's what success looks like. I'm straight up. Now, I look at you and I'm like, that's what I want to be when I grow up. On the mic with Mike, we got to run. I always say the microphone ain't free, plus my grandkids need stuff. So this is part of the On the Mic with Mike Business Radio Network, which is ESPN Richmond 5 to 7 a.m. The Choice 105.3. That's every day from 2 to 3, as well as International Business Growth Radio. We're doing business different. All right, folks, take care. On the mic with Mike back. We are broadcasting live. We're coming to you from the Chesterfield Chamber of Commerce and Business Summit. I'd like to thank all the great folks who came through. We are rocking with the best out here. So on the mic with Mike, part of the Mike King Biz Radio Network, which is ESPN Richmond 106.1 at 5 to 7 a.m. The Choice 105.3, that is every day, as well as International Business Growth Radio, that is Saturdays at 10 a.m. You can follow me on social platforms, hashtag On the Mic with Mike RVA, as well as Mike King Biz RV, Mike King Biz. That's where we are. So I'd like to thank you for tuning in. If you'd like to be a sponsor of the program or get involved, make sure you contact us. We offer an outstanding platform for you to tell your story. We believe business can help society be better. on the Mike, the best business radio program around. Gotta go. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, now. Take care.